Okay, this is going to be the Algebra 2 2015 SOL practice test review. You should have this. I'm going to go through the test just like I did on the last ones in the order in which I would do it. So this will jump around a little bit. Okay, so this first problem, okay, is a square root. I want to try to do square roots off the bat, all right, because my calculator does them so well. So square root of 20, okay, is 2 square root of 5, okay? So if I'm being a good test taker, all right, what goes away is this and this. Okay, so I'm down to doing the variables. The way I do that variable, for x, I divide 16 by 2. I get 8, so that would be x to the 8th on the outside. So this is going to be my answer, okay? If you do 25 divided by 2, okay, that's 12 on the outside. If you want to see what that is you would do 12 times 2 is 24, one more, that would be the remainder. But just by doing that, you can get that problem. Cube roots, I'm going to skip that for right now. I'm going to come back to this. Okay, this problem right here, this is graphing a rational and matching it. Okay, so I'm going to go to menu and graph. All right. All right, I got a fraction button. Up top I got a fraction, so I got to put a fraction up there. And in the bottom I put a fraction. Okay? All right, so I got 11 minus x. I'm going to use x instead of w. 30x squared. Okay? X minus 11. All right, 5x to the 6th. I'm going to draw it. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay? Now, I think A is going to be my answer. Let's see if that's the case. So I just got to match the graph now. All right, so I got a fraction button, negative x to the 4th over 6, and draw, and it's the same one. So that would be my answer. Okay. Factoring is something else you can do with the calculator. All right. So what I'm going to do, all right, I'm going to go to menu, and I'm going to go to equal. All right, polynomial, and now I have a degree 4. Okay, so that's going to be 18. The number in front of x cubed is 12. The number in front of x squared, I don't have one. The number in front of x is negative 6x, or negative 6, sorry. The standalone number is 0. All right, if I go to factor that, what I got is basically, I only got one good factor, which means that's got to be the x one. All right, so like this is no good because that factor would be negative 2x plus 3. Okay, this is no good because I would see a factor of negative 1 in that. All right, this has to be my answer because I have 3 terms here. Okay, and the idea is that you would divide them all by by x. All right, because that's what they have in common. All right, and that would be 18x cubed. All right, actually we divide by 6x, I apologize. So that would be, all right, 3x cubed plus plus 2x squared minus 1. So good rule of thumb, if you got 3, you got 3, okay? All right, and that's how that one would work. All right, 5. All right, I can do this one very quickly. All right. Whoops. All right, what I would just do is I would do shift 0 to the 75th power. I get negative I, so that's my answer. All right, number 6, okay, which is factorable. So what the idea there is if you go to menu and equal, now I'm doing polynomial degree 2. All right, I have 1. All right, now what they're saying is put these numbers in for B. So I would do 61. All right, and then negative 60. And what I want to see is that they create factors. That one does not. Okay, so then I'm going to go to 23 for that middle one. All right, those are not factorable. Okay, and then I'm going to put negative 7 in there. As you can see, those create factors. So that would be my answer. Okay, once again, this is another one of those ones that you would graph right away. Whoops. Oh, went backwards. Okay, so I'm going to graph this one. Okay? So what I'm going to do, all right, it's one of these rational ones. I'm going to go to menu and graph. All right? And I got fraction button times fraction button. And now I'm just going to fill in each part. So when you do these rationals, I would lay out how it would look first. So 25 minus 4x squared. All right? On the bottom is 6x squared plus 9x minus 15. Okay, up top there would be 6x squared minus 2x minus 4. Then I got 2x cubed, all right, minus x minus 10. Oh, whoops, that's 2x, should be 2x squared, sorry. 2x squared minus x minus 10. And I draw, looks like that, okay? So I think what the answer is going to end up being is this one down here. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to try answer D just because I think, but you could try them all, just in the interest of time. Whoops. Fraction button 2, 3x plus 2, and then 3x plus 2. If you look, actually it's not the same graph, okay? All right, I gotta, then let's say I just gotta change that other one. Let's try that top one now is negative. Okay, now that looks like my answer. Okay, the answer is gonna be C. Okay, once again, the rational here, I'm gonna compare that. All right, so I'd go back, parenthesis, plus parenthesis, or fraction button, sorry, fraction button plus fraction button, 12 x plus 1, 1 over x minus 4. Okay, and so that's what that one looks like. All right, so what I got to figure out is which one looks similar to that. All right, I don't know which one off the top of my head, so I'm going to go 13x minus 47 all over x plus 1, x minus 4. And that's the same one. Okay, so you can see I've actually done a lot of problems right off the bat. Okay, which one's equivalent? It's another square root problem. Square root of 36 is 6. So if being a good test taker, these are out. Okay. Now I got 9 divided by 2. Okay, which would be 9 halves. So if you look at the fraction, it's definitely not 3. Okay. All right, and 25 divided by 2 is 12, or 25 over 2, so that's why that's your answer. Okay, moving on to 10. All right, this is an equation. All right, so what I'm looking to do in an equation is I'm looking to go to graph. All right, so a little bit different than these other ones where it was 1. Now we got multiple sides, so I got to go fraction plus fraction. All right, that would be x minus 6 over there. That would be 3x. Okay, that would be x. That would be x plus 2. All right. The other side, I'm going to put that fraction, 2x plus 9, all over 5x. All right, so anytime you have an equation, okay, you're going to do that. I'm going to do g-solve intersect, ISCT. Okay, I get 1.92. So if you're like, I don't know which one's 1.92. All right, well, just go back to here and figure out what 27 over 14 is. That's 1.92. So that's your answer. Okay, how many values will satisfy this one? It's another equation. Okay, so I'm going to go to graph. All right, there's two ways to do this. Okay, all right, so you do -2, all right, option num abs 3x minus 5, okay? Now, you can do it where it's equal to 0. Okay, the problem is it tells you not found, okay? I think if you take this out and do g solve root, okay, all right, but what's going to happen here is that it will actually meet it at 1 and 0. So this actually, that's a little tricky. I'm not a fan of that question on your calculator. That's going to be 1. Okay? Okay, this one is another one we're going to graph. All right? So what I want to do, all right, is I'm going to go to type. Okay, and I'm going to scroll, which is F6, and I'm going to match that. So it's F2. All right, that's going to be option num abs x plus 4 minus 1. Drawing it, okay? Now, we know these two are out. If you want to see the actual window, hit F3 twice, okay? Closest example would be this letter B here. All right? Number 13, this is another equation one. So now I got to go back into here. I want to delete this. I want to turn the type back to y equals, which is F1. Okay? I do square root 7 minus 2x, okay, plus 5. And then the other side's going to be 8. Draw, g solve intersect. I've got an answer of -1. Okay? So on to 14. Okay? It's another one I can do without the calculator. These answers are where this intersects at. Okay, so that intersects at -4, 3. So I know it's not this one. I know it's not this one. Or I know it's not this one. It's got to be this one because the other one's -1, 0. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, all right. Now, a couple things on matching these inequalities. Okay, what you can do is you do this a couple different ways. All right, if it's shaded in between, it's going to be less than. Okay, so I actually will know that this will actually not be my answers. Okay, all right, most likely. All right, now what you're going to want to do, all right, when you go into this, you go to menu and you go back into graph. All right, what you do here is you graph the right side. Okay, I'm going to actually assume that we'll try this one. Okay, all right. Actually, I'm sorry. This one's not crossed off. This one will be crossed off. Okay, so I'm going to try this one. So what I do is I go type, scroll. I pick the exact type. So I do this side first. So I give the exact side that it looks like. Then what I do is I take the type. Whatever I chose before, I flip around and go the other way. And that's where I type the option num abs, okay, x minus 11. And what I want to see is, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you can see it's shaded in between. G solve intersect. I got one answer is 7, okay, and the other answer is 15. But we're over here at -11, so that's going to be no good. All right, well, let me show you why the other one works. Okay, all right, if I change this part to 15 and change this part to 2x plus 7, actually, hold on, let me delete this. The type should be the flip of this. Okay, so option num abs 2x plus 7. All right, G solve intersect. Now I've got -11 as an answer, and now I've got 4 as an answer, and that's why that one ends up being my answer. You can try all of them, but that's a quick way to eliminate. Okay, a cube root equation. Got to be careful sometimes with cube root equations. Okay? You got to be careful because sometimes, I don't know why this keeps doing this. Sometimes with the cube root equation, all right, when you're in the graph area, first of all, let's change these back. All right, okay, so we're going to go type y equals. Shift menu, sometimes I've got to go back and change it to real mode. And that's just for cube roots, okay? All right, you might want to do that. So shift there you got 2x minus 5, all right, and then you got 3, okay? All right, G-solve intersect, let's see if that was zoomed far enough. Okay, and it is. The answer is 16. Okay. All right, what are the apparent solutions? Apparent roots. Now, when you have one graph, it's just going to be where those cross. If you have two graphs, it would be where they intersect. So you got to understand the difference between both. Okay, now, that's going to be about a little more than -1. All right, and that's going to be a half, so that's going to be that. It's definitely not this one. Okay, it's definitely not at 4, and it's definitely not at 0 and 3, so it's got to be that one. Okay, 18, another equation one. All right, so I'm going to turn my shift menu. I'm going to go back and make sure that I am in A plus BI. So just for those cube root ones. All right, 3x minus 4, x squared on the bottom. The other side is 3 over 2x. All right, G-solve intersect. Okay, and so it spits out 2.6. Let's see if I have any others. Just 2.6. So I know by that this and this are out because there's 1. 2.6 will clearly be that. If you want to type 8 divided by 3, you would get 2.6. Okay? All right? Once again, as you can see, a ton of calculator questions. All right? So here, all right, it's a system. Now what's nice is both of those are in y equals. Okay, one answer is -2, -6. So if you're being a good test taker, D has to be your answer. If you hit over, you get the other one, which is 5 and 22. Okay? All right, question number 20. All right, they want to know where the intersects the x-axis. So once again, that's pretty simple. Okay, all right, and where it intersects the x-axis is G-solve root. Okay, it crosses at -4, 0, so that would be one of them. It crosses at -1, 0, and that's it. So -4, 0, -1, 0. Okay, increasing, decreasing is something we can graph, but we'll go that in the second wave. Okay, same thing with this. This is going to be a function that we're going to work with, but we have to go through that in the second wave. All right. Normally distributed data, okay, we're going to go to menu and stat for that. Dist, norm, NCD. Okay, we're going to change the mean to 0, standard deviation to 0.5. Okay, and they want to say what's between -1 and 1. -1 to 1. And that's 0.95. If it says percentage, you multiply that by 100, which obviously the closest answer to that will be this. Okay? This next question is a little tricky. The idea with an inverse is that you got -2, 1. So when you do the inverse, when it's with points, you just flip it around. So what you would do is you would graph right there, okay? Well, that's a little tricky, okay? 25, we're matching graphs, all right? Pretty simple. They give you a graph, match the graph, all right? Okay, and so what I would have here, all right, I think this is the answer, the one with the 1/5. I could be wrong, but let's check it. All right. Okay. All right. And it looks pretty similar. Let me change the window. All right. Just to confirm, I'm going to do G-solve y-intercept. Crosses at 0, 3. That's going to be my answer. Okay. This next one is a composition. We will do the second window around. Okay. This is a variation question. We'll do that the second. You don't need a calculator for that, but we'll do that the second window around. Okay, 28, the horizontal asymptote. Well, the idea here is my anchor point is -1, -10. And since it's an exponential, it will be a y equals. So that's going to be y equals -10. Okay, this is an end behavior question. We're going to do that on the second go. Okay, this one, all right, I want to match the table. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to see which table makes the most sense. All right, I go 21,000, okay, 1.20 to the x power. All right, if I type in 0, I get 21, that's not really close. 1, okay, those aren't really close, so I know this one's no good. Okay, all right. Now let's do the next one. You could also go ahead and go to stat and do that too, and put the stuff in, but this is another way to do it. Okay, and that's not even close, so that's out as well. Okay. All right, and let's go to the next one. 23,100, 0.85, the x power. Okay, that's not bad actually. Okay, 0. Okay, that's pretty close. All right, so 1 was that, 2 was that. They're about 100 or so off. Let's check this last one to see how close it is. All right, 23,500. Okay, all right, so if I go to 0, all right, it's about 500 off. When I go to 1, that's a significant amount off. 2 is way off. So the best answer was this one. Okay, all right, I think 31's coming up around here. All right, this is one we have to write out. Okay, all right, we'll come back to this in a little bit. Okay, which number is a 0? That's pretty easy. Okay, you can go to menu and equa for that, or you can go to root 7, 16, -48. Okay, so I got 12/7 and -4, which that's obviously going to be 12/7. Okay, all right, inverse function. This is actually pretty easy. Okay, all right, opposite function would be these two. That's +11 outside, so it's going to be -11 inside. Okay, the domain, this is something we're going to have to draw out in a little bit. We'll get the second lap through. 35. Okay, all right, now we got to make sure that we read this properly. It says a scientist obtained radioactive uranium that decays exponentially. Okay, all right, so what I have to do is, since they want me to find the result, I'm going to have to go to menu, and I'm going to have to go to stat, and I have to put this stuff in. So I'm going to delete all this stuff. All right. So what I would do here, all right, 80, 56.6, 40, 28.3, 20. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'm going to select Calc, Reg, and since it said exponentially, I'm going to scroll, pick EXP, and then the A to the ABX one. Okay, so I got that answer, then I'm going to hit Copy, then Execute. All right, now I'm going to go back into the graph. I have to hit Select, then I hit Draw. I'm going to zoom out of it, then I'm going to zoom out, Execute. Zoom out, Execute. Now, what they want to know is where will it be in 5 minutes. So 5 minutes would be the X, they want me to find the Y. So GSolve, YCal, and I would put the 5 in there. I get 14.14, which would be clearly, that would be the best answer. Okay. All right, sum of the first 20 terms, I'm going to have to come back to this one. Okay. Permutations. Okay. All right. That's going to be 8P3 on the permutations. That's really easy as well. So I've done a bunch of questions. All right, so I'm going to go to Option, Scroll, Prob, 8. Then I'm going to select the P, then the 3. Make sure the big number goes there. Okay? Because if you do it this way, you get an error. Okay? So that's why you got to do it the other way. So that's going to be 336. Okay? And I think that's it. Okay? Now, I want to go back and do all the other ones that I didn't do. Alright? So let's see where we're at. Okay? I did not do 2. The idea here is I want to multiply. That would be 24. And I want to add those, so that would be W8 all over, alright, it's a cube root. So 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. Cross off all the ones with branches. Cube root, groups of 2. So I'd have one of those on the outside. The only thing left over is a 3. Well, let's be a good test taker. All of these are now out. Okay? Then what I do is I take the 8, and I'm going to divide that 8 by 3 now. Okay? 8 divided by 3 is 2. With a decimal means I have a remainder. How I figure out the remainder, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 more. So that means there should be a 2 outside and a 2 inside. So if I'm looking at that selection, okay, all right, I would have, actually I'm sorry, I added this wrong. Whoops, that shouldn't be an 8. Sorry about that. That shouldn't be an 8. I added that incorrectly, that should be a 12, okay? All right, so, sorry, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I just have a 4 on the outside. Apologize for that, but I got through here, I knew I had made a mistake. Okay, so 3, 4 have been done, 5, 6, 7 have been done, 8 has been done, 9 has been done. All right, 10 has been done, 11's been done, 12's been done, 13's been done, 14's been done, 15's been done. All right, 16, 17 have been done. 18's been done, 19's been done, 20, okay, 21 I need to do. All right. Now, what I want to do for 21 is I'm going to go for this increasing, decreasing. I'm going to go to the graph. All right. 1 minus x squared minus 4. Draw it. I'm going to hit F3 twice. Refix my window. Okay. So I got GSolve. The only ones I'm going to have, I don't have a max. Okay. The only thing I have is a minimum. Okay, so I got 1, -4. All right. If I'm labeling the arrows, this would be negative infinity, positive. This would be positive, positive. All right, we've done that all year. Okay. Start here. That's a decrease. Here's the increase. They want the decrease, so it's decreasing from negative infinity to 1. Okay? All right? Now this one. Okay? G of f of x means I'm starting with the g function, putting a parenthesis where x is. Now, the f goes inside. Okay? Since there is no number here, I'm just going to distribute that. So that would be 8x to the 4th. 2 times negative 15 would be negative 30 plus 11. These are the ones I would combine. It's negative 19, so 8x to the 4th minus 19. And you get an answer of D. Okay, 23 has been completed. 24 has been completed. 25 has been completed. Okay, 26, very similar. I'm going to start with the g function, which is this, 2 parentheses squared. I'm going to put in the f function, x squared plus 3x. Now, since they have a negative 1, that's going to be a little bit different. Okay? What I'm going to do there is, since it has a negative 1, I'm putting negative 1, arrow for x, and I'm typing in 2 parentheses, x squared plus 3x, all right? Whoops. And I get an answer of negative 4, which is A, okay? The volume of a cone varies jointly with the height and the square of the radius, okay? Since it's jointly, it would be on this row, square of the radius, okay? All right, so all I want you to do is come up with the equation. Well, that's pretty much going to be the closest one to that would be D. Okay, don't overcomplicate that. All right, 28 has been completed. All right, 29 has to be done. Okay, all right, now, what I'm going to do here, okay, I'm going to make a sketch. Here's the idea, is that when you go to menu and graph, okay, that is going to be negative x to the 7th